Hello, I'm Lucas Macedo, CTO and co-founder of Red-Peak Corp, and today I'm here to show you guys how to generate a book using our website. First, start by hitting Start Your Story. Our first page in step 1 is characters. Here's where you will create your character that will be used for the story. For this example, let's create a book about my mom, Nayara. First, you start by putting the character name, their sex, and their age. After that, you will go on to fill out these bubbles to tell us how the character will act in the story. And of course, the more you tell us, the better the book will turn out. What we do to facilitate this process is for every option that we have, we actually include drop-down menus with examples, things that you could input. However, we do recommend you choosing the custom option, which allows you to type whatever you want and actually make the book more custom. My mom is a little bit dramatic, so let me give her the drama queen personality. And let's also add a custom option, because my mom sometimes she's very, very honest. Whether that be in a good way, bad way, she will tell you anything. For her skills, I would say she's very artistic. She is an architect, so that's her job. She loves playing with her tarot cards. And she's also very afraid of being alone and her biggest fear, getting old. What you would notice if you take a quick look at the page, you actually don't need to fill out every single option. As you see, I left funny quirks empty. We do recommend you filling the most that you can, but as an example, let's leave that blank for now. For extra information, what I like to do is I like to basically describe the character a little bit. So my mom is about 5'5", she's Brazilian, she has black hair and green eyes, and she's an architect. Now we have just made our main character for the story. What we can do here is we can add new characters, supporting characters, which you will go on to just repeat that process with one extra box, which would be the relationship to main character. Another thing that you will notice is the supporting characters page is a lot shorter than the main character. That's why we added the advanced options, which allows you to actually input more information about the supporting characters, make them more realistic. And in case you filled everything out for your supporting character and you don't want to scroll the whole page, you can click here to collapse it, or if you just want to remove it, you can even click to remove the supporting character. After you're done with step 1, you can go to the bottom of the page and click proceed to step 2 to go to our next step. Our step 2 is premise. Here's where you will give a little summary of the story and basically tell us what you want the story to be about. So first, let's fill this out. As I said before, you don't need to fill out all the boxes. The only boxes that are actually required are the ones that have this little red star. However, once again, the more you give us, the better the book will be. So, let's start with genre. The cool thing about our website is, depending on the genre that you select, you will have a different set of premises. So if I choose fantasy, you can see that we get a preset of a young wizard discovers they're the chosen one destined to defeat an ancient evil. However, if I remove the fantasy and I put a romance story, for example, the choices that you get for premise actually changes. So you'll see from a wizard, it goes to a second chance at love for two people who parted years ago. For this story, let's go with science fiction. As I said before, my mom's biggest fear is actually getting old. So let's make a book about that. Let's say that Nayara, my mom, discovers an ancient artifact that allows her to travel back in time and recover her youth. Once again, this is basically all the information that we need to generate the book, but we do recommend people to fill out the most that they can. So for style, let's make the story descriptive. And what I love to do is I love to make the story fun, humorous, and my favorite, exaggerated. For the reading level, my mom is very proficient in English. However, she does not read a lot. So for now, I'll just go with the average setting. Once you click generate summary, you will notice that in this box, an animation starts loading up. You will also see that the arrow starts turning green. That means that your story summary is being generated. Normally, it takes about from 20 seconds to about a minute and 20. As you can see, once the story is generated, the page will change. It will appear on the screen. Our website automatically generates a custom title for you in case you don't find the idea based on your story, and you can also see it gives you a character profile with all the characters. For this, we just added Nayara, which will give you what the character will look and act in the book. Then you will get the story summary, which includes the introduction, the main conflict, the rising action, the character development, the climax, and the resolution. So this is where you can basically see, edit the story, and basically decide if you want to go on with this or change the settings slightly to make the story better. One thing about this page is we do have the edit button that you can click to basically edit anything. So let's say I don't like something in the story. So right here in the title, I don't want the word excellent on it. I can just click it, I can just delete it. I can add whatever I want or remove whatever I want. Once you're done, if I don't like the changes, I can just click cancel changes and you see excellent comes back. Or I can simply delete it and click save. That will update the text and update the story that will be passed on. Another cool thing about this page is if you take a look at the right side of the page, we have a characters tab. Once you click on it, you can see the information that you put for all the characters that you generated on step 1, and you can even edit it here. So let's say I wanted to add another skill. I can click add, type, and it even gives you some examples. If you type something, it even autofills for you, helping you. And once you're done with that, you can just click save changes, and you can either regenerate by clicking here again, or you can edit it even before. Once you're done with step 2, you can hit proceed to step 3 to go to the next step. Step 3 is where we will be generating our outline. Here we will choose how big you want the book to be. Our generated books are about from 150 pages to 400 pages. Here, just for simplicity, let's go with the medium size, 25 chapters. Once I select it, you can click generate outline and you'll see the animation starts moving again. Once the animation starts moving, you'll see that the arrow will turn green slowly, and that's how you know your book is being generated. And once again, this section lasts about 30 to a minute and a half. So if you give it a couple seconds, the page should update and the generated text should appear on your screen. The one thing about this book size, you see that we do charge slightly more for the medium-sized books and the large books due to the size of the book. So instead of 150 for small, it's about 200, 230 pages for a medium book, and about 400, 420, 430 pages for a large book. And also, if you do not like it, or let's say you went on to step 1 and step 2, you decided, you know what, maybe I want to regenerate the summary, maybe I want to change something, add another character, you can always click the back to step 2 And in step 2, we should also have a back to step 1 button that you can click to go back. Once your story is generated, you can see how every single chapter will look like. A little title for the chapters and a little description. As you can see, since we selected 25 chapters, it will generate us 25 chapters. Once you're done with this, you can read it, you can check it, you can hit proceed to step 4 to go to our next page. Step 4, our fourth page, is the cover generation. Here's where you can upload pictures of the main character to generate a book with them. Make sure you input mainly pictures of the main characters. If, for an example, you're making a book about your dad and your mom, you can add pictures of both of them. Just be careful because, of course, if you put pictures of multiple people, sometimes the book will get confused and put the wrong person in the cover. So primarily try to focus and try to narrow it down only for the main character. After you input the images, you can click to generate, and you will see that once again the animation starts loading, the arrow starts turning green, and you even see here in this bottom it says generating with a little loading bar animation too. Once that is done, we are gonna get 2 cover generation, and you will actually be able to see and read your first chapter of your book, your complete generated book. So if you do decide to go on whenever you purchase the book, that's exactly what's gonna be on the page. Once again, these steps will take about a minute to a minute and 30 seconds because it is generating 2 covers at once and your first chapter. But if you wait a little bit, it should appear in any second. So here, once it's here, you will see that it will generate a cover, custom cover, with the pictures that we submitted from the main character, which is my mom. It will say the name of your main character, Nayara, and the book title that you actually input on step 2. What you will notice is that the cover generation actually uses the summary, the story that you input to make a cover. As we said that she loves to play with her tarot cards, you can see that she's holding the little cards and everything. You can even click the arrow key to go to the next cover generation. And you can even see the ancient artifact that she discovered. And of course, you can get your first chapter over here. You can slow down the video or pause it if you want to read it, get an example of how the book would be generated. Or you can even go to our website and try it yourself. Now, once you're done, if you do not like your first chapter or your cover, you can click to regenerate it, which will actually generate 2 extra images. Do not worry, you won't lose the 2 images that you already have. They're still gonna be there. But as you see, the image 2 out of 2 or 1 out of 2, that's actually gonna be 1 or 2 out of 4. You're just adding 2 extra images. Once you're done and you decide, let's say, I like the second image more. So I would leave the page on image 2 out of 2 and click proceed to step 5. Step 5 is our last page. It's actually the delivery page. Here's where you would input your name, your email, your phone number, the address information where you want the book to be shipped, if you want the book as a soft cover or hardcover, what page color you want the book to be. We do recommend cream, but we also give the option for you to have the book on white. And here you can even select the shipping option, which would be standard or expedited. This would take about 9 to 15 days to deliver, depending on where you're located and everything. And let's say as I'm getting this book for my mom, I also want an extra copy, so I can have the book too. You can click the extra copy, you will see that the price summary does update, and the price also updates. Here you can add how many extra copies you want. Let's just keep it as one, for example. Once you fill out all your information, you can just click Go Payment, and you will be redirected to another page where you can input your credit card information or your payment method and actually finish this process. Once you're done, you will see that if you actually come back to the step 5 page or step 4, you know something went wrong. So make sure to double check, especially those fields that are highlighted in red saying that it's required and asking you to fill it. In case you didn't fill out or some information was wrong, it will take you back here. If after the payment you end up going back to our landing page, you know you're all set. Also, feel free to take a look at our landing page, see what we offer, click to see a simple story in case that was not enough, or even read our reviews. Once again, I'm Lucas Macedo. Thank you.